What's going on, everyone? Today we are taking a look at the Soundcore work. This is the world's first coin-size AI voice recorder, which is packed with a ton of features to simplify note-taking, AI transcription, AI summarization, and a lot more. So if you happen to be interested in a better and easier way to take notes at work, during studying, or just general daily use, stick around and I'll be going over everything that makes this one of the best AI transcribers on the market. All right, so taking a look inside the box, you have your user manual, a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, a magnetic ring to attach to a phone or phone case that doesn't have a magnetic connection, a pendant for the recorder, and then last but not least, you have the actual device itself. All right, so taking a look at the device itself, as I said earlier, this is the world's first coin-size AI voice recorder. So right here in the back, this is the battery charging case. And this clicks on there just like that with the magnet. And this part here is the actual voice recorder itself. So just to compare this to a quarter, as you can see, kind of hard to see on camera, but it's actually slightly smaller than the actual quarter. It's about 90% the same size, but as you can see, such a tiny little button there. Right behind the recorder, it has a built-in magnet, so you can open it up and clip it on your shirt collar or sleeve just like that. And there's also a few other ways you can wear this, which I'll go over later in the video. So taking a look at the recorder itself, this only has one button here on the side, and this is how you start and stop the voice recording. So when you want to record, just click that in like that, and you'll feel a haptic feedback on the recorder, plus you get a light indicator right there. And then when you want to stop, you just click on that again, and the button will release right there. And then it'll also give you another haptic feedback notification as well. And this can capture audio up to 5 meters or 16 feet away. And one thing I really like about this is it also works independently. So a lot of other devices rely on the app and your phone connection to make recordings, but this actually has 8 gigabytes of internal storage, which is capable of saving up to 250 hours of audio. So definitely very impressive that they managed to fit 8 gigabytes of storage inside this tiny device. And last but not least, you can use this while it's charging on the battery case as well. Same thing, just click or unclick and it'll work just like if it was separate. Another really useful feature on this is double tap to mark critical moments. So maybe there's something you want to further look into or an important bit of information you want to review later. All you got to do is double tap on the front surface and it'll automatically mark that section in the recording. This way, instead of skimming through the entire recording that might be 1 hour long, this will mark that section to make things a lot more simple. And what's cool is it even gives you haptic feedback to confirm when the moment was successfully tagged. This way you don't have to wonder if it's actually tagged or not. So it shakes just like that, and as you can see, the little light here will also blink to let you know you successfully tagged that section. And then once you mark something, that content is automatically highlighted in the transcription and aggregated into the summary to ensure that this information stands out and nothing is missed. All right, so opening up the app, this is what it looks like. And as you can see, as soon as you open up the app, it'll automatically start transferring all your recordings from the device to your phone. And right here on the main page, this is where you have all your transcriptions. Let's go ahead and look at one of those I have from earlier. As I said earlier, when you double tap, that marks off key sections and it does flag them right here on top. So you can just go ahead and scroll over and it'll show you that key moment that you tagged earlier by double tapping. And it marks it both on top, and then you also have the highlighted section as well. So coming down to the transcript, as you can see, it actually recognizes different speakers as well. So if there's 4 people in a classroom or meeting, instead of showing just one big block of text, which will get pretty confusing, this will automatically separate everything for you. So it's a lot easier to browse and understand. And besides separating them, you also have the option of labeling them. So if you know speaker 1 is Larry, we can go ahead and type that in. And now every time Larry is in the transcript, it'll automatically be tagged as Larry. Same as speaker 3, we'll say his name is David. And now you can see we have both Larry and David here in the transcript. So it just makes it a whole lot easier to understand and browse through that. And then of course, as you can see, it does synchronize the audio with the transcript as well. So it kind of looks like subtitles guiding you through the entire thing. So if you want to read while you listen, you can also do that. And this is a AI-driven transcription with up to 97% accurate. I've been testing this out for a few weeks now, and this is definitely very accurate. Before this, my wife actually used the built-in text transcription on her Samsung Galaxy tablet. And I gotta say, this is way, way more accurate. With the tablet, it often got words and sometimes even entire sentences wrong. So you have to go in there and correct it the best you could. But I have not had many issues with this one. Again, just very good voice to text transcription. If you did want to edit something on the transcription, there is a button here, so you can go ahead and fix it if it does make a mistake. Depending on accents or if someone's further, it might get something wrong, which is normal as that could happen to a human as well. So coming up top, you have your play button for the transcription. Right here, you have 15 seconds forward and back. Over here, you have your playback speed, so you can listen to your voice audio slower or much quicker to save time. And then down here, you have two different toggles. You have voice enhancement, so this has noise cancellation technology. It'll go ahead and eliminate some of that background noise to make the actual voice a lot more clear. And then it also has skip silent segments. So if there's someone saying and having a lot of pauses, instead of playing through that and making you listen to that 5 seconds of silence, it'll go ahead and smartly skip those sections so you're only listening to the actual audio when something is being said. So definitely very useful to have that to save you time when you're reviewing your audio recordings. And then last but not least, right over here, you also have the ability to trim as well. So if there's some time where people are just talking and it's not relevant, you can go ahead and cut that out so you don't have that wasted filler in your notes. And last but not least, this can transcribe 100 plus languages. So several different languages to transcribe from. Or another way this is going to be helpful is if you're in an international meeting and maybe more than one language is being spoken, this will be able to transcribe all the different languages to make everything a lot easier to review later. So while the double tap feature might seem like something minor, for me, this is an absolute game changer as it just makes everything a lot more easier. For example, this is going to be very helpful in class as you can spend less time taking notes and more time actually focusing on the overall lecture being given. So if there's something you want to look up later, instead of writing down, for example, look up why this historical event was important, all you got to do is double tap the recorder, and just like that, within a half second, you can get back to focusing on the rest of the class. Another useful way you can use this is to divide your recordings up to chapters. So say if you're in a class and they're covering maybe 5 or 6 different key topics. So whenever they move on to the next topic, you just go ahead and click it like that. And now you have built-in chapters in your voice recording to make it easier to review and look at later. Another feature that really separates this from other transcribers on the market is its AI-powered enhanced summarization. This is powered by industry-leading ASR or automatic speech recognition technology, which delivers precise text summaries without missing any key points. So this is not just a generic summary, but it actually processes the information to make a proper and helpful summary. So as you can see right here in the first tab, you have your transcription. And then when you go over here, you have your intelligent summary. And this is where it breaks down everything for you. But let me go ahead and show you how to do this really quick. So when you click on this right here, you have the option to identify speakers. And then right down here, this is where you have your templates. And one thing I really like about this is it has 25 plus summary templates, which cover a wide range of different scenarios. And based on the text in your transcript, it'll automatically match the most suitable template for that summary. So again, not just a generic summary, but one that really organizes your information in a way that actually helps. So personally, I just use intelligent identification. That's been spot on every single time, giving me the right template for the actual audio that's happening. But if you want to do it manually, you can also choose that as well. And as you can see, you have a few different general templates: brief, summary, debrief, meeting ones, conversations, presentation, learning, personal log, medical, professional. So lots of different categories there and how it summarizes and presents your information. So right here, I have one already made, and this is based off your key information that you clicked on earlier. So basically, it'll grab all those key tabs that you made, lump them all together, and make a summarization based on that. So as you can see right up here, it has our marks, and then it breaks all that down into summaries, tells you who was participating, the description of what's happening, the core discussion, it tells you what exactly the speaker is saying, And then it shows speaker 2, which is a student, how they contributed to the overall topic. And it breaks everything down. And then right here on to-do items, it says that we have a task. During this recording, the teacher asked that all students sign the attendance sheet. So that's what it has here. But if the teacher said, make sure you do this assignment and it's due Thursday at 4 o'clock, it'll grab that from your voice audio automatically and put that right down here. So again, instead of having to scrub through your whole entire transcription, trying to find that information, it's going to give you all that information in a much more organized way. So let's go ahead and look at one from a meeting. So right here, I got a sample meeting. As you can see, like I showed you earlier, it tells you who was talking. I went to the summary. I made marks here, and it shows me the scene information, the participants, and the core discussion. And then right down here on to-do items, it has all the different things that were discussed during the meeting. So task 1, each team member to explain explicit commission from their campaign manager, yada, yada. Task 2, group and summarize 3 key product improvements. And then task 3, continue collecting feedback from GMT teams. So as you can see, very, very useful. Normally you'll have to scrub through this and make these lists by yourselves. This with just a simple click of a button, you basically have a small little assistant right here in your pocket, helping you and simplifying all your notes. Another useful feature this has is how it sorts your files. So if you come over here, you have 2 different ways you can sort your files. First off, you can make your own folders. As you can see, I have one for work meetings and one for school lectures. But even if you don't make your own folders, it'll automatically detect what the meeting is about. So right here, we have lecture summary. And if I click on that, as you can see, all the school lectures are right here. And as you can see here, all my voice notes have a title. I did not type in these titles. So when my wife recorded on her Samsung tablet, it'll just say voice note 1, voice note 2, and that was it. You have to click on all of them, listen to it for a bit, and figure out which one it was to find what she needs. As you can see here, this one automatically titles it for you. And again, these are spot on. So as you can see here, nursing education lecture. My wife is in nursing school. And then it shows you the topic is prenatal care and nature versus nurture, which was the key element that the teacher was talking about in that recording. And it does that for every single one of these. And below it, they even give you key things that were discussed as well. So say if you had a bunch of classes and you wanted to review when the teacher was talking about folic acid, for example, instead of clicking on these, trying to find that through the recording, you can just go through here and scroll through the key elements. And now I see right there. And then I know that's where it's at in that recording. So as you can see, this is definitely a lot more than just a basic transcriber, as it has a bunch of different features to help with organization and just making everything a lot more accessible. Another feature I really like on this is its ability to create an aggregate summary. So if I come right over here, it'll show you all my files and I can get the ones that are similar. So for example, right here, I have human growth and development, and then I have development principles lecture summary. So those are very similar. So instead of reviewing both of them, they could be the classes for this week. I can go ahead and click apply. So now it has a summary of both of those files. So it tells you the overall summary right there. These 2 audio recordings document sessions from a human growth and development course. The lectures focus on the distinctions between growth and development. It gives me a summary of both notes. So if you have different notes, it'll get information from all of them and make an overall summary. Obviously, you don't want to mix up things that aren't compatible, but if it's all a meeting about promotions, that's going to be great to lump up in here. And then it breaks everything down by topics and then key points within that topic. So as you can see, I got topic 1, shows me everything about that. Topic 2, topic 3, and then it has a knowledge structure summary, personal understanding and review notes, and then it even has AI suggestions. So it says here, suggestion 1, create a visual timeline or diagram mapping developmental stages. Suggestion 2, generate practice questions. And then suggestion 3, compare effects of various parental health scenarios on child development. So very, very cool to have that. It's almost like having a second teacher or a personal tutor inside your phone, just to make it a lot more simple to follow your notes and get a grasp of what it's actually talking about. So again, definitely a very, very powerful device that's a lot more than just a basic transcriber. All right, so when it comes to transferring notes into the app, as I said earlier, as soon as you open up the app, it'll start transferring. So over Bluetooth, this will take 300 to 400 seconds to transfer 1 hour of audio. But if you want a much quicker transfer, that's where you want to use the Wi-Fi transfer option. And this is where you can transfer 1 hour of audio in only 30 seconds. So let's say you went on a business trip and had a bunch of meetings, or maybe you've just been swamped with classes and haven't had the time to review your notes. All you gotta do is open up the app, and within only a few minutes, you can transfer an entire week of notes. Definitely very convenient, as instead of waiting around for transfers, you can very quickly get to it with very little interruptions. And if all of that wasn't enough, this also has AI assistance as well. So say if you're in a class and there's a word or concept you don't understand, you can just highlight that word. Let's just highlight that one, for example. Click on Ask AI. And as you can see very quickly, it'll give you a definition of that there. And this is AI generated, so it's not just regular definitions from Google, but if you had something a lot more complex, you can also look that up as well. So same thing, if we're in a work meeting, I don't know what MVCs means, I could just click AI, and just like that right there, it's going to show me what that means, which means Model View Controller. I would have had no idea what that meant, but thanks to that AI assistant, I can now get that help very quickly. So you don't even need to open up the browser, you can just look it up right here very easily. And last but not least, this can sync with third-party apps as well. So if you have a note app or cloud storage you prefer to use, you can very easily move your audio files, transcriptions, and summaries from the Soundcore app over to the other apps. And this is a real-time synchronization as well. So whatever apps you have enabled, it'll automatically keep your files shared and updated on those apps. So as you can see right now, it just has Notion, but these and many more apps are coming soon as well. All right, so going back to the actual recorder, as I said earlier, this is definitely a very compact and portable device. It's only 10 grams. In comparison, a quarter weighs 6 grams, so it's almost like a quarter and a half. If you can have 2 quarters in your bag, that'll be the same as carrying this, so really not very heavy at all. This is just a charging case. You can always leave that at home and just have this with you. This can record up to 8 hours on its own, or a much longer 32 hours with the case. So if you need a longer recording time, definitely take it with the case as well. Either ways, still a very portable setup. And one thing I really like about this button on the side is how much travel it has. So you can't accidentally activate or stop it. You have to actually press it in, and it kind of has a clicking, locking mechanism in there. And then you gotta push it down and it'll click out and release just like that. As I said earlier, it does have haptic feedback, so you know when you start or stop. So definitely a very thoughtful feature, as you can't accidentally start or stop a recording and have to be very intentional about doing it. So besides just carrying this or placing it on your desk, there's 3 different ways you can wear this. First off, you have your pendant attachment, so you can go ahead and loop this over just like that. As I said earlier, has that magnet clasp, so it'll stay on there no problem. And this is adjustable, so you can make this bigger or smaller depending how you need to have it. And as you can see, you can wear it like that as a necklace. As I showed you earlier, you have this magnetic ring. So if you have a phone or phone case that doesn't have a magnetic connection, you go ahead and put this on there. Right here, I have a Galaxy S25, and this has a magnetic back. And as you can see here, this whole entire case is magnetic. So you can go ahead and carry the whole thing just like that on the back of your phone. This is also magnetic, so if you wanted, you could just take it like that and clip it on the back of your phone as well. Again, very lightweight with the case, so even if you stick it on your phone, it really doesn't add any extra weight there. And then last but not least, like I said earlier, you can also wear this as a clip-on device. So you can clip this onto your sleeve or your shirt collar, and just like a button, it'll go ahead and hold on with that little magnetic clip on the back. So lots of different ways you can use this. Personally, my favorite is just to clip it on my phone like that. One thing I really love about this is how it can record all on its own, as this is just much easier than using an app on your phone. With your phone, you need to take it out of your bag or pocket, unlock it, open up the app, and then finally start recording. But with this, you just press that button, and just like that, you're instantly recording with no extra steps to get there. On top of that, this also leaves you the option of looking up something on your phone without worrying about interrupting the recording. Or if you prefer, you could even leave your phone at home or in the car and then just use this to record your class or meeting. I know one thing a lot of people might be concerned about is privacy protection, but that's not something you have to worry about with this device. Looking at the specs, it says all data is encrypted with AES 256 And data in transit is also encrypted, which uses TOS 1.3 for Wi-Fi and ECDH with AES 256 for Bluetooth. So your data will be safe and secure at all times. And when it comes to cloud storage, the data is stored on AWS or Amazon Web Service, which is built to be one of the most flexible and secure cloud platforms out there. One thing to note is at launch, only local storage is supported, but they do have plans to add cloud storage options, which will be included free of charge. This includes Amazon Cloud Storage, PC synchronization, and more. Overall, this is definitely a great device. It's packed with a ton of useful features. It works well, and best of all, it also comes at a very good price as well. All in all, if you happen to be shopping for an AI transcriber, I would highly recommend this one here, which again is the Soundcore Work. If you would like to purchase or get more information, I'll also have the link in the description as well. All right, well, that about wraps up this video. As usual, if you have any questions at all, feel free to drop me a comment and let me know. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.